What would you do if one calendar mistake could cost you your dream job? My chest tightened so fast it felt like the air had been sucked straight out of the room. That awful drop in your stomach sensation you get when you realize something is very, very wrong and there's no rewind button. 10 minutes earlier, I had been floating. Now, I was frozen, staring at my screen, wondering how excitement had betrayed me so thoroughly. For 2 years, I've worked as a contract employee for a large company, fully remote, and honestly, I loved it. The work fit me perfectly. The team felt like home. I woke up most mornings genuinely happy to log in. The only thing that ever gnawed at me was the uncertainty. Contract, temporary, no real promise of what came next. I tried not to think about it too much, but it was always there, sitting quietly in the background. Then the impossible happened. A permanent role opened up on my team. I didn't hesitate. I jumped on it immediately, like someone afraid the opportunity might vanish if I blinked. I dusted off my resume and polished it until it felt sharp and confident. I wrote a cover letter that actually sounded like me, highlighting how I always volunteered to host team events, how I stepped up to keep morale high, how leadership had noticed those efforts before. I hit submit, crossed everything I could cross, and spent the weekend oscillating between hope and terror. The job posting closed last night. This morning, still groggy and half awake, I checked my email from bed. That's when I saw it, an interview request. My heart slammed into overdrive. I genuinely thought I might cry. A year earlier, I'd applied for another internal role and gotten shut down almost instantly. This felt different. This felt like momentum. I told myself to calm down. I did not calm down. I clicked the scheduling link before my brain had fully powered on. The calendar popped up with options, several dates weeks out, and one that appeared to be later that day. I glanced at the date, saw Monday, and my sleepy brain nodded along. Of course it's Monday. That makes sense. It did not make sense. It was Tuesday, but I didn't realize that. Not yet. I scheduled the interview, convinced it was happening that afternoon. No big deal. It was just a phone screen, probably a quick resume overview. I was ready. I told my husband, who also works from home, and he immediately went into support mode, keeping things quiet, handling distractions, making sure I had space. I felt grateful. I felt excited. I felt like this was finally my moment. The interview time came. No call. I waited. 1 minute. 2. Okay, maybe they're running late. That happens. 5 minutes passed, and the excitement started to curdle into panic. My thoughts spiraled. What if my phone glitched? That used to happen. What if they tried to call and couldn't reach me? Without thinking it through, I sent a quick email. Hi, looking forward to our call. Available all afternoon if you need to push a bit. The moment I hit send, a tiny voice in my head whispered, check the calendar. So I did, and that's when everything collapsed. The interview wasn't today. It wasn't even this week. It was scheduled for next Monday. My face burned. My stomach dropped straight through the floor. I stared at the screen in disbelief, rereading the date like it might magically change if I looked hard enough. I had just emailed a hiring manager for an interview that wasn't supposed to happen for nearly a week, casually implying they were late. I scrambled, fingers flying, heart racing. I sent another email almost immediately. Sorry, please disregard, totally my mistake. Got ahead of myself. Looking forward to our call next week. I leaned back in my chair, closed my eyes, and tried to breathe. Maybe that fixed it. Maybe it was fine. Maybe people make small mistakes all the time. Then my eyes snapped open. Next week? The interview was less than a week away, so not only had I jumped the gun, but my correction was also wrong. I sat there in stunned silence, staring at my inbox, convinced I had just sabotaged the opportunity I'd been working toward for 2 years. I imagined the hiring manager reading my emails back to back, wondering how someone who struggles this much with dates manages to function at all. I replayed every meeting I'd ever attended, every deadline I'd met, every calendar invite I'd handled flawlessly. None of it seemed to matter in that moment, all because I got excited, all because, for once, I let myself believe something good might actually happen. Now I wait, counting the days, triple-checking every calendar, rereading those emails in my head and wishing I could pull them back through the screen, trying to remind myself that one moment doesn't erase 2 years of solid work, even if it feels like it might. And every time my phone buzzes, my heart jumps, hoping it's not a reply that confirms my worst fear. That enthusiasm, paired with one sleepy mistake, was enough to undo everything.